final pitch event for the StartUp program. We really are so excited to have everybody here. We thank you for your involvement, and we're so excited for you to see the work of our young entrepreneurs. So this year started with 15 teams that identified a problem, or what we like to call a bug that they would like to fix. This could be something as small scale as in a classroom, or as large scale as something that could affect people from all around the world. And so the 6 teams that you will see pitched tonight represent the top 6 teams that were picked from this year's selection process, which is really exciting. Each team will have about 10 minutes to pitch their presentation, and then they will field some questions from our lovely panel of judges here. We're gonna have the first 3 teams present, then we'll do a brief 10-minute intermission, and then the final 3 teams will present after that. And then the winner of tonight's event, selected by our panel of judges, will actually be submitted to be considered as a national finalist in the Incubator National Pitch Competition, which will take place in Chicago this summer, which is very exciting, and there's a monetary prize for the winning team from Chicago from this summer, which is a great opportunity. There will also be some audience participation as well. We do have a chance for the audience to pick for their favorite team that pitched their presentation or had the best business idea. And so you will have a chance to pick for your favorite team, and that team will get the People's Choice Award, which is very exciting. The startup team here at Byram Hills, Mr. Naughton, Dr. Layden, Ms. Pellegrino, and myself would just like to thank all of the mentors, coaches, and judges that have helped to support the students and this program throughout the year. What really is so great about this program is how involved it is with the community, and we really give our students a chance to interact with people outside of just the immediate school environment, which is just a really great opportunity for them to be involved in people in the real world and make future connections that will maybe lead to a future job, which is exciting. We also need to mention a few of our colleagues here at Byram Hills who helped make tonight possible. Brian Melso and the rest of the media team and the technology department did a wonderful job on this beautiful stage setup and our help with the audio and visual of everything tonight, so we really appreciate their work. Again, thank you to Johanna Saragusa, Peter Lichten, and Eric Savino for supporting us throughout the year as well. Tonight's event would also not be possible without the generous support and contribution of the Byram Hills Education Foundation, which continues to provide students and support students with authentic learning experiences and opportunities. And then lastly, we would like to thank our high school administration, district administration, and the Board of Education for, again, just the continuous support and growth. And as we enter into the 4th year of this program, we're really excited just to see it continue, grow, and develop. So with all that being said, I would like to now introduce Byram Hills High School Principal, Mr. Walsh.
All right, thank you, everybody. And one of the things that was special for me this year is I had the opportunity to attend the inaugural regional MVP event at St. John's University this past March. And when we arrived, I expected it would be a valuable chance to gain insights into how other schools were approaching the program. However, it quickly became clear that we were the model that others were learning from. As a proud principal, and I say this without bias, our teams were better prepared, more knowledgeable, and more technically skilled than any of the other schools at the event. While we're fortunate to have exceptional students, becoming an exemplar doesn't happen by chance. It took our superintendent, Jen Lamia, who was willing to give the green light to a brand new program. It took our deputy superintendent, Tim Kaltenecker, and directors of technology, Andrew Taylor and Kevin Guadati, who actively sought out community experts to help bring the business world into our school. It took department chairs, Dr. Layden and Ms. Pellegrino, along with teachers, Kelsey Smith, John Norton, and Tom Andriello, who had the vision to turn a concept into a classroom reality, and then guided, directed, and coached their students through uncharted territory. It also took dedicated faculty and staff members like Peter Lichten, Eric Savino, Josh Espina, Brian Melso, Patrick Salerno, Tim Fasheen, and Johanna Saragusa, who worked behind the scenes to bring this program and its event to life, whether through technical support on a 3D printer or helping students understand the engineering principles behind a product. It took mentors and coaches who volunteered their time to support students in both year 1 and year 2 of the program, and judges who offered candid, constructive feedback during pitch events. And of course, it took parents who were willing to take a leap of faith by encouraging their children to enroll in a brand new, untested program. Finally, it took a supportive Board of Education and the Byram Hills Education Foundation, which not only provided critical funding, but also helped connect us with entrepreneurial leaders from within our community. It truly took a community to develop this program into what it is today. And on behalf of the students, I want to thank each and every one of you for your support, vision, and dedication. So now, sit back, relax, and get ready to do what I do and say, I wish I thought of that. The amazing pitches are on their way. Thank you again, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Walsh. Just really quickly before we get into our first pitch of the event, just a moment to acknowledge our judges for this evening. They are all members of the Byram Hills community and have volunteered to hear from our students tonight. So please welcome our judges Peter Bond, Cynthia Polveroso, and Suzanne Novak. And without further ado, let's get started. So first up we have is Gavin Hefner, Khalid Sitar, and Wes Woodward. Their mentors Eric Thorson, and they are Top Scent. Top Scent is a fresh, on-the-go hair powder designed to keep busy men looking, smelling, and feeling sharp all day long.
Hi, I'm Gavin.
I'm Khalid Sator.
I'm Wes, and we are Top Scent. Fresh hair, anytime, anywhere. Good morning. Introducing Top Scent, a scented hair powder for men. Let's say you're a typical teenager or athlete at high school. You just got done with a big soccer, football, or maybe any other sporting game. Here they are sitting in the locker room after the game. I know this is a common event for me and my friends during the season. We'd be sitting there trying to clean up quick, and we'd head out to a dinner such as Kira or Koku in town. Often when we got there, I'd feel disrespectful to both the staff and the other families eating. Here we were, a bunch of guys, smelling sweaty, dirt on our clothes, and just overall not presentable. That's where Top Scent comes in, scented hair powder. So in the locker room, right after your game, it's a quick 1, 2, and 3 sprays. That's all you need. And now you're smelling, looking, and feeling more presentable.
The problem we're trying to solve here is the lack of time that athletes have and the sweat and odor buildup from wearing helmets in sports such as lacrosse or football, as well as the lack of men's hair care products. Our solution is a textured hair powder consisting of silica silate, arrowroot powder, and essential oils. The silica silate and arrowroot powder draws out the odor from the hair, and the essential oils gives it a nice, fresh, masculine scent.
And I like to point out all these ingredients are safe and CIR or Cosmetic Ingredient Review approved.
All right, so as you can see here are some of our main competitors. And when we were doing market research, we found 2 main hair care companies for men. One, Base Bodywork, and the other, Old Spice. We took a lot of things from both. We took that Base Bodywork had a very easy, applicable hair care and texturizing powder, but we didn't like it wasn't scented. And when we went to Old Spice, they had a hair clay. And the hair clay was hard to use, and you couldn't use it fast, but we really liked that it was scented. And we took that, they all have safe ingredients, they all have a masculine appeal, it's scented and easily applicable, and we made it into Top Scent. All right, this is our TAM Salmon Song, or our market share. Our TAM, or Total Addressable Market, is the world's men's hair care spending in a year. It's $2.4 trillion. That's a crazy amount. Our SAM, or Serviceable Addressable Market, is $7.2 billion. That's the amount of money young men spend on hair care in the United States. Our SOM, or Serviceable Addressable Market, is 0.5% of that.
Now for our financial model and COGS, or cost of goods sold. As you can see on the left, there's our old cost, and as you can see on the right there with our new cost, a lot of things fluctuated. I'd like to point out our formula increased, but we also got our website and advertising costs down. This was by doing more research into it and actually building a lot of these prototypes, getting people's feedback, and making sure the amounts are right, the bottle costs are right, and everything in production was good. Now, for our estimated unit cost and sale price. So, as you can see on the left, in the first few months, we're expecting around 50 sales or under. So, for shipping, we have $2.75 for local shipping within New York, or $9.99 nationally. Then $14.99 original sale price plus the shipping on the side. Then once we get up to 100 monthly sales, both the shipping cost and sale price drop. And finally, at 200 monthly sales, we're looking at about $2 for local shipping and a little under $9 for national, and then a price of around $13.
This is our MVP findings, or our findings about our minimal viable prototype. We surpassed our MVP, and we really found we wanted to test our formula design and bottle design, what our scents wanted to be, and how our bottle wanted to look. We wanted to test if our audience preferred a unisex or masculine scent. They decided on a masculine scent. We wanted to test bottle size, whether we wanted smaller or larger bottles, and spray versus shaker variations. And finally, we wanted to perfect our formula and measure how much we wanted to texturize our hair.
All right, now for some of our current marketing and sales. As you can see on the left, there's our target audience. We're looking at normally men, athletic men, aged 15 to 24 that live in the US. This demographic is often more susceptible to social media advertising and influencers such as athletes, TikTokers, whatever it might be. Then for our pre-order, we have been doing a user testing, such as A/B testing. We dropped a pre-order. We found out feedback on whether they liked a black bottle, white bottle, spray, shaker bottle, all of the above. And then for part two of our sales, for advertising, we posted a lot of flyers around the school, such as the one seen on the right. We got feedback. We've been consistent on social media, about 2 to 4 posts per week, and we've got thousands of views on many videos. And as far as our real sales go, we've recently talked to 2 barbershops. One is more of a smaller private one who we actually got to accept our product, and we gave around 10 to. And then the other one said we need to go through some more processes, such as getting LLC and more of a certification until we can get into that one. And we've made 5 early sales, whether this be around the school or around the town. We just want to get some sales and get initial feedback.
This is our business timeline, which displays the goals we've worked to achieving this time. During March, we began posting on social media. As Wes mentioned, we got a lot of attention, gaining about 2,000 views on our posts. In April, we worked at beginning pre-sales, and right now we have made 20 products, and May through June, we're going to track our sales and how our product works and gain feedback from people we've sold to.
All right, for our journey. So I'd like to say we actually did not start off as a hair powder. We started off as an essential oil, alcohol-based hair cologne. We quickly realized that this was really costly and overall just not a great market, a little saturated, a little hard to get into. Aerosol bottles especially cost a lot. So here's where we got the idea from this. We actually took inspiration from female dry shampoo, and we did a little twist on it because we don't think it's the most masculine name, and we don't think guys are really interested in that. And as you can see on the left, we did lab testing, product research, and inventory building. This is where we made about 40 products. Then in the middle, we talked to a chemist and beauty consultant. We helped get feedback on clumping issues, shipping issues, such as if heat or moisture would affect our product. We learned that if we wanted to stop manufacturing ourselves, how we could get into more of a distributor who would package the bottles, make the logos, whatnot for us. And lastly on the right, we had a regional pitch win at St. John's University earlier in March. Thank you, Topsen. Thank you guys very much. You keep them.
Thank you so much, Topsen. Judges, if you have any questions.
What? Oh.
You mentioned your price points. What are your competitors priced at?
So I'd like to mention probably Base Body Works because they're the closest competitor we have. They are more of a luxury appeal. We have a very similar bottle design, very similar function, but they end up being around $20 to $25. That's not including shipping.
Sorry, for same size bottle?
Yes.
What are your sort of primary sales channels? I heard a little bit of direct to consumer. Are you thinking other?
I think our priority, honestly, is barbershops, just because we think everyone has at least most men have a very similar or very close connection with their barber. So we think after a cut, maybe your barber will give you 1 or 2 sprays. Like sometimes that's what my barber does with sea salt spray or a similar product. So we think that's to kind of get the pitch out of it. And then we actually gave some to our barber, as we mentioned, who he could like sell it to the customers right after a cut.
Ask a little bit about the quality assurance process that you went through. What type of iterations on the product did you do in terms of the ingredients to address allergy issues, chemicals, people that with sensitive scalps, things like that? What was your process going through that?
All right, so as I said, we started as kind of essential oil based, and this like left oils. The alcohol was irritating, so we kind of did research through looking at the competitors and overall just doing more research into the ingredients. And we found all of these ingredients already used. We tested them on ourselves. We had friends try them out, see what they thought of each one. So we kind of went through that process. Our first iteration, we always had arrowroot powder, but we actually had baking soda instead of the silica acetylate, and we had an alcohol-based fragrance instead. But after some like problems, we had like clumping, and like overall the formula wasn't like great sticking to your hair, didn't add enough texture. We changed. We were in the kitchen. I think we made about 3 different iterations of it. Mm-hmm. First, we had around 75% of the silica powder and 25% arrowroot powder. We found this texturized your hair too much, so we kept building. We found the perfect amount, which is around 60% arrowroot, 40% silica, and the rest essential oils a tiny bit, and that's what we decided to go with.
Okay, great, thank you.
Marketing talks about sort of the scent, but are there any other functional benefits? Because for women's products, for example, there's like oil absorption. Is that something that you have in the product as well?
Yes. So the silica acetylate, that is mostly responsible for removing the odor of your hair, and again, as you said, like removing grease and kind of drying it out, and that's the texturizing effect as well. And then the arrowroot powder helps that silica actually stick to your hair and helps it mix in more to get rid of the grease and oil.
And sorry, a quick follow-up. And have you thought about like claims that you can make, like to go through the process to make a claim for an effective product?
For effective,
So there's like certain claims that you have to make when you make functional benefits to a product. Have you guys thought through that piece of it? Because that would be a big, I think, added bonus to say that you are oil absorbing as well, especially after like workouts.
So yeah, that's kind of like a main part of our product is that it's oil absorbing and provides a little fragrance. So that would be a big part of it. Yes.
Does require any sort of like regulatory approval, FDA, anything like that, or a hair care product doesn't?
So there is some to like the start, like smaller sales. It's not really. None of our ingredients aren't approved, so they're all CIR approved. But then for the general product, once we like file for LLC, there does have to be more background. We have to submit the formula and kind of some more info into that. Yes.
Okay. All right. Awesome job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next up we have Lucy Brescio, Matt Geller, Lila Klarsfeld, and Lauren Carrick. Their mentor is Roderick Rabat, and they are ComRescue. ComRescue is a classroom-based self-regulation kit designed to support students when they're feeling overwhelmed, anxious, or overstimulated.
Hi, I'm Lucy.
I'm Lila.
I'm Lauren.
I'm Matt.
And we're ComRescue. Up here, we have ourselves as first graders. Throughout our presentation, we would like you to keep in mind what we look like in first grade, as this is our target audience. Before we start, we want everyone to take a deep breath in and out. You guys all feel so much better, right? We've all had those moments where we feel anxious, overwhelmed, and too restless to concentrate, especially in high-stress environments like the classroom. For many students, this isn't occasional, but a daily struggle that many deal with. As demands increase inside and outside of the classroom, many students struggle with regulating their behavior. Developing self-regulation is an extremely critical skill that many students nowadays are missing. According to recent data, 30% of children experience an anxiety disorder, highlighting how common this issue has become. On top of that, over 80% of public high schools report seeing stunted behavioral and emotional development in their students. That's where our product, Calm Rescue, comes in. Calm Rescue is a classroom-based self-regulation kit designed to help support students when they're feeling emotionally overwhelmed. Each kit will contain products such as stuffed animals, scented sprays, and blankets. Each product has been carefully curated to help students return their focus back to learning. It's a simple way for schools to create more engaging classrooms, and with Calm Rescue, teachers gain a powerful ally in the classroom and many students learn new ways to regulate their behavior.
All right, time for problems and solutions. First, students not being able to stay focused due to self-regulation issues. So, pamphlets with breathing exercises and techniques to help calm down children in the classroom. Second, teacher having trouble controlling the classroom. So, we have stress-relieving toys and supplies to help them control their emotions. Lastly, calming corners are helpful, which we'll talk about more later, but expensive. Need physical space and not a scalable solution. And our product is small, compact, fits in a classroom, and is scalable.
So we knew in order to make Calm Rescue successful, we had to understand not just our student, but the adults surrounding their everyday lives. So we have the parents, teachers, principals, and even admissions counselors. For our first customer segment, we have Miss Cohen. She's a 28-year-old woman, and she teaches third graders. She struggles to maintain control in her classroom on a daily basis. So our product would be great for her classroom. It would give her kids ways to self-regulate without distracting everyone and calmly do it. Our second customer segment is Karen Goldblatt. She's a 30-year-old woman. She's a stay-at-home mom with kids in elementary school, and she's a part of the school's PTA, but her main concern is that her kids are too dependent on their screens at home. So a Calm Rescue kit could give her ways to get off the screens and regulate without them.
So for our competitors, one of our main competitors is United Way. Although they are a volunteer project and they're not scalable, a majority of their products are similar to ours, such as like fidget balls, coloring books, and scented sprays. But this does not specifically target schools and teachers, unlike us. Additionally, they have a digital journal that promotes reflection and self-expression, and it's more similar to our pamphlets in our kit. But Calm Rescue, it's been carefully curated, and it's more a physical distressor. It's backed by analysis and input from guidance counselors who we've spoken to throughout our journey. It's targeting teachers and school districts, physical objects within the classroom. We also plan to include a loyalty program to replenish some of the products you see in the kit, and it's age appropriate.
All right, now for some recent progress we've made. We met with and interviewed teachers. We went in depth with each teacher and really tried to focus on what self-regulation is and what the problem is in the classroom. We evolved from focusing on anxiety from lockdown drills. So at the beginning of the year, we really wanted to focus on lockdown drills, as we thought this was a really prevalent issue and where students really had a lot of anxiety. But we spoke to the school psychologist, which we'll talk about more on the next slide, and we kind of geared more towards self-regulation, as that's a bigger market, which is going to expand into a bigger addressable market, which is going to increase our profit margins. We built a solid prototype that you see in front of you, and we have early adopters who are teachers in elementary schools willing to implement kits in their rooms today. So we've reached out to 2 elementary school teachers in our school district, and they're willing to, and they love the idea, and they're willing to put our kit in their classroom.
So one of our biggest growth aspects is a new potential partnership we have with the school psychologists at Coman Hill, the elementary school in our district. So with Miss Karp and Miss Fitzgerald, we've decided that we will be joining with them and creating Calm Rescue kits, our kits, in their calming corners. And these are more communal areas for the students to take the toys and the kits rather than our kits, which would be in each classroom, so it's more individualized for all the kids.
So for our marketing plan, we decided to use Instagram, posts, and stories to reach people, but we also decided to put flyers and stations with our products throughout the school. So we put coloring books and pencils in the library, and we got results through Google Forms and teacher interviews. So on the bottom, you can see that the students were really stressed before coloring, and then after they rated it lower. And this helped us learn which products we're going to put in our final kit and which products kids actually enjoyed using. So this is our social media presence. Here are just some of our stories, and you can see on the right we have the library coloring setup, and then on the bottom just some of our follower growth and progress.
All right, time for costs. So our supplier, we got all these supplies you see in front of you from Amazon, but we'd like to shift more towards Alibaba, as that would drive our private margins way up as we buy in bulk. So our cost of supplies, which was approximately $80 for one kit. I just want to highlight that the kit you see in front of you is not $80 worth of materials. There's a whole bin of more materials. We just didn't want to bring it, as that's a lot of stuff. But we are researching alternative suppliers such as Alibaba, and we are monitoring tariffs going on in China, as that would maybe drive up our cost.
So as we said, each full-size kit costs about $80 for us to gain all the supplies, and at about 60% margin, we're able to sell our kit for $128. And for example, Coman Hill, the elementary school in our district, has 29 classes, which would mean we could make just under $4,000 from just selling to Coman Hill. And another aspect of our product is the subscription for renewal, which would resupply some of the products such as the coloring books and pencils. And with this subscription, at a 40% margin, we could increase $112 per kit, or per school. And we are going to test these prices by trying to sell to nearby schools. We're not only going to reach out to them, but we're going to investigate in their budgets and see how much the PTA is involved so that we can see how reasonable our price really is. So our TAM, SAM, and SOM, so our total addressable market would be all schools in America. And with this, by selling to this entire market, we would make about $1.4 billion. And while that's not too realistic, we're gonna head over to our SAM, which is all public schools in Westchester. And with this, we would still make just over $2 million. And then with our SOM, which is a bit more realistic, all the public elementary schools in Westchester, with this, we would make just under $2 million by selling to the whole market.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now questions from the judges.
How did you arrive at your $128 price point? Like, what kind of research did you do in the market with how much the market's willing to bear?
Well, we looked at a few other kits, and we found while there wasn't exactly like a mental health kit like we're selling, there were more first aid kits, and they were selling for somewhere up to $200-300. And we found that these kits included more expensive supplies, so it does make sense that they are a bit more. But since we paid about $80 for our one kit, we think that $128 is about a good jump up for it to make a good profit.
I had a question about the composition of the kits. So this is focused, their kits are focused primarily on elementary school age children, nothing in the middle school or high school. I just wanted to make sure I understood that.
So originally we focused more on elementary schools, but we've actually put our coloring kits and our pencils in the library at the high school. We found really good feedback, so I think we also want to expand to the high school and the middle school and elementary school.
And how did you derive the type of products that would be going into these kits? I know you mentioned you spoke with the guidance counselors and teachers. Just if you can just explain the process on how you went through that to decide which products will go into each kit. And also, are these products interchangeable? Can a teacher have, for example, a bin of products, and then he or she can modify depending on the cohort of the classroom for that particular year?
Yeah, so the way we came about these products is we asked a lot of other high school students what products they found most comforting, and then mostly we really spoke to Miss Karp at Coman Hill. We talked to her a lot about what she was including in those calming cubbies, and so we kind of piggybacked off that a little bit, and we spoke to a lot of high schools. And just within us, like what we found really comforting, and especially because we have that like calming kind of persona going on. We wanted to have a lot of our like aesthetic be very like together and calm, just like a really calming persona. And then, sorry, can you repeat the second part of the question?
I had the similar question. Like, is it sort of customizable?
Oh yeah, customizable. So yeah, we're doing like, we plan to have a loyalty program so they can replenish products. But I think one kit is gonna have all of this stuff. And right now, I don't think we're at the point where we'll have different kits with different materials. So if you buy the kit, it will just have that material. But I think if we were to continue and to go on, we could create different versions of the kit.
So what we're doing is we're setting the baseline for teachers for the mental health aspect. If they want to add to it, they can feel free to, but we're supplying the baseline, and they can add to it if they think of anything else.
In the beginning of the presentation, you set out your customer cohort as both schools and then moms and parents, but then the remainder of the presentation really focused on kind of how to break into schools and your marketing plan related to that. So did you at some point pivot to just schools, or
So we're looking So we're looking to sell to the PTA, which is usually parents, concerned parents that have children in the district. So really, we're looking to get the funding through them. Potentially, depending on the school district, it's probably going to depend. We have to see, depending on the PTA, and one district's stronger than the other. But really looking to get the funding through there, and hopefully they supply the funding, they buy in bulk, and we make a really nice profit.
Reach out to any mental health awareness sort of societies, nonprofits who also might be interested in sort of helping to fund the dispersal of this to different schools.
Yeah,
I also say, because you mentioned United Way is kind of your competition.
Right.
I don't know if they give away these kind of things for free. Or if there's a product that they actually sell as well.
Yeah, so as of right now, we haven't reached out, but mainly the school psychologist, Mrs. Karp, did a lot of research on, obviously, I mean, she's a mental health expert, so we really trust her in telling us what we need, and she seemed really open to having us come visit, and also the teachers. I mean, I feel like the teachers would know best what their students need, so we're kind of looking towards that aspect.
Both Amazon and Alibaba as the suppliers, but did you look at wholesale?
No, we have not.
Any other questions from the judges? All set? All right, round of applause for Calm Rescue. Great job, everybody. All right, thank you again to Calm Rescue. Next up, we have Julia Miller, Isabella Vasquez, Ariana Guido, and Emmy Navarra, and they are Cookmate. Cookmate is a pan divider that makes cooking easy, saves space, and is perfect for kids that are picky eaters. Say goodbye to cooking multiple meals in several different pots and pans.
Hello, my name is Isabella.
I'm Ariana.
I'm Emmy.
And I'm Julia. And we are introducing Cookmate. So who here has had an experience with a picky eater? Well, if you're like us, probably many of you, we're introducing Cookmate, which is a dream pan divider that allows you to cook 2 more meals at once. And it's also handy if you don't have a lot of room in your kitchen, can't afford many pots and pans, or just don't have the time to spend on cooking many meals. This flexible food-grade silicone pan divider is the next chef's dream for a nice and quick meal with less cleanup, and it also fits for any standard-sized pan. So here we have some example recipes that you can make with our product.
Whether you are a picky eater, your child is, or you know someone who is, everyone understands the struggle of using multiple pans to cook just one meal because a picky eater does not want their foods to combine. This leads to using multiple pans and having a lot to clean up, wasting both time and energy.
So our solution is a pan divider. As you can see, it can fit in any pan, like in the prototype in front of you. Our UVP is that this really doesn't exist anywhere on the market. This definitely gives us a leg up and advantage and allows us to stand out in the market. We've been experimenting with a lot of different materials, but our main material that we've been using is food-grade silicone. Now, as you can see, by comparing the melting point of the food-grade silicone to the average temperature of a stove, melting or burning shouldn't really be an issue. I also tried this out in my own home on the highest setting, and not only did it not burn or melt, but I could pick it up with my own 2 fingers without feeling anything. So this is definitely a safe and reliable solution to those problems.
So some of our customer segments include parents of children who are picky eaters, so they can use our product and keep their food separate while they cook and then while they plate as well. And additionally, we also have homeowners who have minimal storage space, as well as college students who don't have enough space in their dorms or apartment for multiple cookware items. And we also have people who want to save time cleaning after cooking so that they can only use one pan, so they'll be easy and efficient to clean up after.
Why Cookmate? We created Cookmate to make the cooking process less stressful. We understand that dinner time can be chaotic, especially when everyone has different tastes and limited time. Our mission is to reduce stress around the cooking process, cleaning, and eating food. Cookmate is designed to simplify all of your eating habits so you can focus solely on enjoying your meal.
So our total addressable market, which is how much the entire US spends on cookware, is about over $54 billion. And then our serviceable addressable market, which is just what New York spends on this, is about $241 million, and we expect to capture $24,100 of this market.
We began by purchasing different silicone bowls and plates and then cutting them up to create our early stage of a prototype. Our goal is to use moldable silicone so we can make the exact shape we want to prevent leakage. Then we will give out our prototype to different members of the community to ask for feedback, whether it's leaking, what size they want, and any other feedback they have. And finally, we will put our product out on the market.
So for our marketing and feedback, our first form that we sent out, we wanted to see if we even had a target audience for our product. And we found that 90% of people do struggle with the same issues that we struggle that we made for this product. And then earlier in March, when we went to the incubator EDU pitch at St. John's University, we wanted to see if people even wanted our product. And we found that 80% of people did. And we also created multiple social media platforms such as Instagram and Facebook to gather some more feedback and get more interactions on our product. And we also posted posters around our school to hopefully get our community involved in our product and spread the word out there through our community.
So in terms of our progress, what we've been working on the past few months is creating this rough prototype in front of you. So we've been using food-grade silicone bowls, food-grade silicone plates, and even food-grade silicone sheets to cut them up in different ways in order to test our prototype. Now, this is obviously a rough prototype as we can't use somebody else's product as our own. So what we've been working on since our academic pitch is using Tinkercad. I actually have a brother who's in engineering and is really good with that stuff, so he's been helping us as well. And we're essentially trying to get the correct measurements to create a mold so that we can move on to mass production. And once we reach that stepping stone, we'll look at creating different sizes in which we would just need to adjust the length and not do much with the width. So that's what we've been working on and what our next steps will look like.
So for our competitors, our direct competitors, we don't really have any as our product is very unique in our market, but we do have indirect competitors who are addressing the same, have a problem in the same market that we have, and we have been testing and tracking their progress, and we found that they were very consistent in postings, and they've interacted with a lot of their customers, and they've even interacted on multiple different platforms. So we hope to do that as we continue building our product.
Specifically, our indirect competitors would be people who are willing to purchase multiple pans, but we don't have any people with the exact same product as us.
Okay, so I discussed the progress we've made and will continue to make on our prototype, but it's also really important, obviously, to look at our financial model. So what we've been doing and will continue to be doing as we move into the final phases of our prototype is looking at the amount of materials we need and how much of each material specifically we need. Also, how much time it takes approximately to create each prototype. Or each product. And in terms of the supply chain and examining that, we want to see how many ounces of silicone specifically we need to fill each mold. So we already have that silicone, and once we're done creating that mold and can 3D print it, we'll move right on to that so that we can move into the next and final phases of our design.
So cost of production, in order for 1 pound of silicone, it's about $20 to $40 per pound. And if our product would only use like 0.1 to 0.3 pounds, so that's about 5 products that we could make out of that 1 pound. And if we sell them at $15 each, that'd be $75 total, but subtract the 20 to 40 would be around $35 to $55 revenue. And we'd want to sell our product through retail stores mainly, and maybe later on open an online option, and through a transaction-based revenue stream. For our progress, the initial cost of all goods was $104 to make everything in that very early prototype you see in front of you. And some additional costs is like obviously mass manufacturing and maybe some advertisement.
We plan to test our potential partnerships by reaching out to content creators in the cooking area and offering our product for testing and to receive feedback. Next, we will continue to track our follower engagement and post on social media to continue growing the community. Thank you.
Awesome job, CookMate. Questions from the judges?
By one thing, some of the photos you showed had suction on the bottom. Is that the plan for the final product?
Yes, our final goal is to create suction in the bottom to make sure the two sides won't leak to each other, but we have been we need to first create the moldable product, and that's just a very rough prototype, but we do want to add suction.
So they could have sort of different divisions, like one of your products would split it in 2, another in 4, that kind of thing?
Yes, eventually we would want to expand the product to make maybe 3 different dividers in one, but we are beginning with just one, and we will continue in the future.
Since pans come in various sizes, I'm just trying to imagine the difficulty is how to create multiple sizes, different diameters for separation. Have you thought of possibly just having one piece that the customer can cut it down themselves and perhaps attach it in the center so that, for example, of just having the edges fit as it should for a regular pan, having them cut in half and have it attached. That way they can customize it themselves versus having to place an order for a specific type of pan or order for you for production to reduce that.
Our original plan was to begin by making 8-inch, 10-inch, 12-inch pan dividers, so each person could purchase a size they would use, but we do think in the future we want to figure out how to make it stretchable or bend to different sizes, but that is a future goal for us.
Like a common series of sizes of pans across the country that, I don't know, like it's sort of 8, 12, okay, good.
They typically have like standard sizes, so what we gave you right there in the prototype is like the typical standard size. Once we're able to do that, we plan to make more sizes. In terms of making it adjustable, that's definitely something we're willing to look into, but it obviously would take a lot more technique and fixing it and molding it to be that certain way. So right now what we're sort of looking at is just making it for different sizes. There typically tends to be standard sizes for pans that we can go based off them, so yeah.
But also testing out with like sort of cooking classes, that could be like a good test market for you. I even think of my little kids took cooking classes at the Heckscher place, and they're picky kids. Those could be a good little test market to see, how it works on the ground with little kids making their own food.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Right now, is it only for pans? Because I could see utility here for like bakeware, for example, or like cookie sheets.
Yes, we've begun with just pans, but we do want to, in the future, look into pots and different bakingware, but that's all a future thing. We're beginning with just creating our perfect prototype right now, and then we want to continue by making different sizes, expanding different heights and lengths in the future.
All right, great job, CookMate.
Thank you.
Thank you
so much.
All right, so we have the opportunity to hear from 3 more pitches tonight. So our 4th team, next up we have is Trevor Wong, Jacob Chapman, and Alex Galis. Their mentor is Michael Kahn, and they are PowerBill. PowerBill is a convenient wallet that features a charger and other technologies designed to enhance organization for your everyday needs.
Here comes the money. Here comes the money.
Hi, so we're PowerBill. I'm Alex.
I'm Trevor.
And we're introducing you a utility wallet that specializes in improving convenience. So the problem is having to worry about gathering all your daily utilities. So picture this, you wake up, get out of bed, and you forgot to charge your phone the previous night.
You go to the store to try to buy some groceries, but then you realize you forgot your wallet, your phone's dead, so you can't use Apple Pay, and now you're stuck there wondering what to do.
If you're a messy person or just inconvenient in general, you can find that this is a common occurrence. So here's where we introduce our solution, the PowerBill Luxury Charging Wallet that includes a charger and NFC chip, which we will explain more later, and of course all the functionalities of a regular wallet.
So our unique value proposition, our all-in-one wallet enhances organization and convenience with attachments like the NFC chip and our charger, which could charge your phone, and you could also plug it in for AirPods and Apple Watches. It will keep you prepared on the go for business travel, and yeah.
So what it comes with, on one side you'll be getting a portable multi-charger which works for your phone and any other Apple device. On the other side of the case will be a compact wallet including credit card holders, a money clip, and a built-in NFC card business chip. So basically what an NFC card business chip is, it's a programmable chip that you can program to link to any website you want. So you can link it to social media, or you can link it to like a LinkedIn page for your website. So I have our prototype right here. If you want to check it out, I actually use it for my wallet. You can charge your phone. It's a magnetic charging case, and if you have a phone, you can point the top of your phone on the black chip to access our short web page.
This is Paul. He's our customer persona. He's a 35-year-old businessman. He's on the go a lot for business, and he never knows who he's going to meet, but he finds it inconvenient to carry all his business cards at once. So that's why I use our NFC chip to make it easier.
Finances, we plan on selling our final product for around $35. The NFC chip on average costs around $1.50 to buy in bulk. The wallet costs us around $16.50, and the charger costs us around $10.
So there's no one really out like us on the market, but other competitors could be portable chargers. They could range anywhere from $10 to $60 depending on the quality and how long they last. Other wallets too, they usually range around for $20 for a medium quality wallet.
Manufacturing, we have actually reached out to a manufacturer that has agreed to work with us in the future. They're called Apex Manufacturing, and they specialize in manufacturing leather wallets. They've agreed to incorporate the charger, and they're based in Chennai, India.
So this is our business hypothesis. If we email 100 businessmen to tell them about our product, then people go to our website. We will measure our success based on how many people buy our product, and we can 5 to 10 people buying our product will be a success. So for marketing, what we're going to do, we're going to have folded up piece of flyers for our company on the side. We're going to fold it up to make it look like a fake wallet with money in it. And then when people open it, it'll be our flyer for the business. And we also have Instagram, which we're currently posting on there to draw attention to our business.
So TAM, SAM, SOM. So our total addressable market, we calculated to be around 15 million customers based on the total amount of businessmen and businesswomen in the United States. Our serviceable addressable market, we took to be the amount of business people who travel 5 or more times per year. And our serviceable attainable market, we calculated based on a relatively 5% adoption rate, and then we just multiplied these by the cost of our product to get our estimated revenue. Here are our sources for that. Thank you.
Great job, guys. Any questions from the judges?
I may have missed, what's the sort of the envisioned price point of the final product? I think I saw your costs on a couple slides ago, but is that, what do you see as the price point of the wallet?
Sorry, the cost is $35. The sale price is $35.
Oh, got it.
The,
Can you get this any thinner?
the charger?
Yeah, or is there like different capacity options for charging, like power, like time and stuff like that?
Basically how it works is it's a power bank that you have to charge prior. You have to charge it like once every week or so, and it's hard to make thinner just because you sacrifice having a cord for having it like all in one place, but it's a little bigger.
Have you guys done a lot of sort of market research just in wallets in general? I think you ended up on your most addressable market being young business people, teens, a little in their 20s. Is it also sort of applicable at your age? I mean, you're using it. And how, like, what's the trend in wallets? Everybody seems to be getting a lot smaller, at least I personally have to. But
Yeah, so we actually addressed this trend in wallets, and we figured that because there's a new shift to more digital-based payment methods, such as like Apple Pay or like PayPal and digital credit cards like that, we know that that's why the wallets are getting smaller. So we wanted to incorporate technologies like the NFC chip and the charger into a typical wallet to really give our clients the best of both worlds.
Any other questions, judges?
Have you thought about like different colorways and design options, or is that something you're going to work through now that you seem to have a lead on a production partner?
Yeah, so primarily right now we focus just on getting the prototype together. It wouldn't be that difficult to manufacture different colorways, especially because the manufacturer we contacted, they manufacture primarily wallets. They agreed to incorporate the charger into the wallet, but they pretty much have like every color of leather you can imagine.
So yeah, have you seen any competition in this space? It seems like your real sort of differentiator is the marrying of the charger with the NFC tag, right, and a wallet. Is there anybody else out there doing this?
Yeah, so surprisingly, there's actually not a lot of products that have combined the wallet and the charger. There are some, but none of them have things like the NFC chip. So there's not really a lot of competition out there, no.
Have you taken any measures in terms of security with the NFC chip, in terms of information? Because you mentioned that it logs onto a website for which you can access. Does that tie in any way into personal information, things like that, in terms of security?
No, it's basically like if I were to just send you a link, for example, and you click on the link, just as a viewer, like it doesn't give you editing access to the website, for example. It doesn't give you like any of that information. It's kind of just like you could link it to a website, you could link it to a LinkedIn page, you could link it to your social media account.
I see. Okay.
All right, great job, Power Bill.
Thank you.
All right, next up we have Tyler Boyd, Logan Verma, and Josh Goldman. Their mentor is Kevin Rosenzweig, and they are SwitchGuard. SwitchGuard is a 2-in-1 baseball equipment that combines a elbow guard and a sliding mitt. Now, as it has to be, they are playing in a baseball game right now, unfortunately, but they were able to record a demonstration of them using their prototype as well as a recording of their pitch. So we do have that for you today, and then I have their prototype for you as well, so that will be presented momentarily.
Hello, my name is Logan Verma.
And my name is Josh Goldman, and we are joined here today by our teammate Tyler Boyd, who is on stage.
Firstly, we are very sorry that we cannot make the final pitch event, but we would like to demonstrate our prototype Switch Guard. Switch Guard is a 2-in-1 elbow guard and sliding mitt for baseball players. We'd now like to demonstrate how our product works.
So first we'll start off with the elbow guard part of the demonstration. As you can see, using the Velcro straps that we have designed, Logan can easily slide on our prototype onto his elbow, protecting him from being hit by a pitch on the elbow, which if you've ever played baseball, you know really hurts. So now, Logan's at bat, I'm the pitcher, I pitch, I hit him in the elbow. As we can see, it's a very durable product, nothing happens to it, he doesn't feel it, and now he's been hit, now he goes to first base.
So another thing that is very important to know with our prototype is that it does not affect any part of my swing. I am still able to swing a bat comfortably without my movement being restricted at all. So once I reach base, many players like to wear a sliding mitt. These sliding mitts are worn on their hand as protection and as an extension of their hand.
As we can see, Logan simply takes out the Velcro, takes off his elbow, and then slides it right under his hand, tightening the Velcro to avoid any inconveniences while sliding. And now it is on his hand very firmly with nothing really at all different than normal.
Lastly, we'd like to prove how durable and how protective our product really is.
So as we see, I will now hit Logan with a metal bat straight on the hand. Normally this would really hurt him and he would feel it, but I'm going bottom, middle, top, other side, and he still can't feel it. I'm hitting him pretty hard, but our prototype, shows how durable it is and how strong it is, protecting you from any injuries while being hit in game.
We would now like to ask our teammate Tyler Boyd to hand you our prototype. Thank you for watching. We'll now present to you our slide deck. Hello, thank you for watching our demonstration video. We would now like to present to you our slide deck. First off, baseball is a very popular sport with 16.7 million players in the US, which is up 7.6% from previous years. There's over 500,000 high school baseball players and 30,000 players in college, all of which have extra gear such as the sliding mitt and elbow guard shown on screen. All this gear players have to replace year after year, and for families with multiple kids, the pricing can add up. That is why we invented Switch Guard, a 2-in-1 elbow guard and sliding mitt.
Here's an introduction to some pictures of me and Logan, who are both high school varsity baseball players, and we both suffer from this equipment issue and the cost issue. So the key problems, first off, the amount of equipment, and that players have to wear these 2 pieces of equipment throughout the entire game, having to carry them unnecessarily. And the key problem here is that when you're hitting, you have a sliding mitt in your back pocket, which is uncomfortable and can affect your performance and swing. Next, the cost, as both pieces of equipment are sold separately, cost a lot, and year after year having to buy these products can add up. The time, it takes a lot of time to take out your sliding mitt from your back pocket, take off your elbow guard, throw it back to the coach, put on your sliding mitt, and then finally the game can resume, and it's a big issue. And what we learned from these issues is that players are definitely frustrated with the current process and want a new solution.
A bit more about our product. Once again, a player will wear their elbow guard while they're batting and then switch it onto their hand when they run. It has 2 Velcro straps to securely equip the elbow guard to the arm, and it also includes strong, both flexible plastic, which will protect the player and not restrict any movement while the player is swinging and running.
So what we learned from some player interviews was that they value function over fashion, with players caring more about the use of the product than how it looks, as they just want to play their best and be comfortable while they're playing. And the brand name was not a priority, so they would be willing to go to our small company. And the quality and value matter a lot more, with comfort and flexibility being a must-have when playing. The $90 price point feels right, and the key takeaway, our product must flex with movement while still protecting the player.
A bit more about our customer segments. Firstly, we're targeting the teenage baseball player, as older groups usually get their equipment given to them. First, the teenage baseball player buys their stuff online, and they often struggle with high cost and low quality gear. And we found that they find the in-game current solutions very inconvenient. Our second customer segment is the parents of these kids. The parents will be buying their baseball-loving kids their Switch Guard product to gift to the younger baseball players. These parents shop online, whether on Amazon or they see it on social media, and they care deeply about the safety and performance of their child.
So comparing us to our competitors, the three main competitors in this field are EvoShield, Marucci, and Boost Bolt, who all sell baseball equipment. While none of them have the in-game time efficiency, affordable options, or the key value for us, the two-in-one equipment, they all do have social media marketing, which is a key aspect of their business, and we have tried to learn from. And our unique value is the two-in-one equipment, combining both the time efficiency and the affordable options.
Next, when we researched our competitors a bit more, we found out that brands such as EvoShield like to use known athletes in their posts just because a familiar face will attract customers more likely. They also like to post once a day with updates or new designs for their product. How we apply our learnings from this, we'll just post more often, as well as film us building and making our prototype to interact with the community more.
So our marketing plan and results. For our outreach efforts, we hung up a lot of posters around school and in town, which got a lot of attention and interest, and we have been talking about the posters with many people. However, it did not correlate to an increase in social media followers. Next, in our player interviews, the players were definitely fascinated by our materials and how we were going to apply them into our prototype. And they preferred the dual Velcro straps over one single strap, which we started with. And they said the built-in strap on the side was uncomfortable, which led us to use our custom Velcro strap, which is very flexible, very comfortable, and keeps the product in place. Here's an example of one of the posters we used for our marketing efforts, highlighting our key two-in-one value, and also the QR code for our Instagram, trying to attract more followers and network our product.
Next, a bit of the outreach that we've done so far. We've reached out to 3 baseball facilities in Westchester and have received 1 response from Relo U. This company was very interested in our product and were willing to help us sell it and market it to baseball players who enter their facility once our prototype is fully complete. Additionally, we talked with baseball players from other high schools that we played against during this spring season, and we've reached an agreement that their current process is very frustrating and they could use switch guard during the games. And we also noticed that a ton of athletes were taking time in between plays and slowing the game down to switch gear.
So our marketing tests, the 4 key tests we used were Instagram posts, Instagram stories, Instagram polls, and various in-person tests. Through all of these marketing tests, we learned that players really only want to replace their current products with switch guards when their current ones are worn out, meaning that they are fine with having the 2 separate equipment, but maybe next season when their product is worn out and they need to buy new ones, they will all say they were willing to go to switch guard for the affordable 2-in-1 option. And our updated prototype, which is the one you guys will be seeing tonight, proved to get a lot better results from our original, showing that we were successful in making the adaptations. And the potential customers considered our product more after we showed them demonstrations of how it worked and how to wear it.
Next, the market we're addressing. First off, baseball has a huge market with $2.2 billion. Next, we limited our market to $450,000, which we reduced all of baseball players to just baseball players in Westchester. Lastly, we expect to capture 4% of this market, or 120 players, capturing around $11,000. And as we continue to grow our business and grow our name, we expect that number to keep increasing.
So for our prototype testing, we've done various impact tests for a long time to test the protective materials and the plastics that we have been using to figure out where we should place them and which plastics will be the best for certain goals. We've also added the 2 Velcro straps, as you can see on the prototype. And our next step for our prototype is to show it to a lot of more baseball players in the school, asking them to wear the updated prototype, giving us feedback on it so we can hope to improve it, and eventually trying to have players wear the product in practices and then expand to the surrounding area for more testing.
Next, some of the finances along with SwitchGuard. First off, the sliding weight, which is our base, will be around $15 to build with the fabric and protective material already inside with the molding. Next, our Velcro is around 75 cents per mitt. The plastic we use will be around 30 cents per mitt. This includes the hard plastic and the more flexible kind. Next, there will be around $2 of additional cost just with the molding and sewing of our logo and our product. We plan to sell our product through direct purchases, either through a website or Amazon or online store purchases, whether we partner with Dick's Sporting Goods or we partner with more local businesses to sell our product.
So in terms of our partnerships, we plan to reach out through email and DMs to numerous baseball facilities, nearby stores, tournament vendors, etc., hoping that we can connect with more companies that can showcase our product to a lot of players and customers in our target audience, networking our brand and our product and help us sell it as a partner. And as we mentioned earlier, VLU is a successful connection we have had as a partner, and they really liked that product and said they would be willing to work with us in order to expand our business and showcase the product, try and get some of their players to work with us.
Alright, so for our next steps, one of two paths are that we were going to reach out to popular companies like EvoShield. We're going to pitch them our idea and why they should work with us. We were going to sell the rights to the 2-in-1 product to the company, and then collaborate with them as a partner and let the existing big companies do the manufacturing and marketing. And then we were going to gain a share of the revenue for the 2-in-1 products that are sold. For our path number 2, we're going to reach out to any manufacturing companies. We're going to discover the products needed to build the product in bulk to save as much money as we can. We're going to strike a deal with the manufacturing company. We're going to mass produce our product and then sell in popular stores and through online purchases.
Thank you so much for listening to our presentation. We're very sorry we could not make it there for the final pitch.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Apologies again that there are no representatives of SwitchGuard here tonight, but hopefully they'll come back with a win from Alberta's Magnus. But again, I apologize and I appreciate there's always examples of pivoting in the business world. But lastly, our last team we have is Cooper Schreck, Alexa Vargas, Charlotte Sanders, and Taylor Herman. Their mentor is Kshatriya Iyengar, and they are Thermonail. Thermonail is an electric nail file with a built-in temperature radar, alerting the nail technician when the file is causing too much friction on the nail, and therefore hurting the person getting their nails done.
Hi, my name's Alexa, I'm the CEO.
I'm Charlotte Sanders, the COO.
And I'm Taylor Herman, the COO. And unfortunately, our CFO, Cooper Scheck, could not make it tonight due to the baseball game. And this is Thermonail. File with confidence, feel the difference. So how did Thermonail come to life? As I was sitting in the nail salon getting my nails done like I do each month, the electric nail file burned my finger. When I told my friends and family about my experience, they shared similar experiences that what happened to them. I realized that if we had advanced technology, that this would make everyone's nail care experience more comfortable. So what is our product? Our product is an electric nail file with a built-in temperature radar, alerting the nail technician when the file is causing too much friction on the nail, hurting the person getting their nails done.
Our unique value proposition, our product is unlike anything on the market due to the beeping aspect that we put in. And this will alert the nail technician when too much friction causes the nail to bleed and have an uncomfortable sensation. This will leave you with a smooth finish and a comfortable and satisfied nail salon experience.
So for our customer segment is a female who's around 25 years old. Her name's Sandra, and she uses Instagram and TikTok, where she specializes and watches videos regarding the nail care industry, and she has a lot of passion on keeping her nails healthy and safe.
Our TAM, SAM, and SOM. So our total addressable market is around almost 900,000, and this is the number of nail salons in the world. Our serviceable addressable market is around 1,700, and this is the number of nail salons in the U.S. And then our serviceable addressable market is, and then our,
Yeah.
Okay. Our serviceable addressable market is almost 7,000, and this is the number of nail salons in New York.
So for our competitors, we have no direct competitors, but our two close directed Our two closely related indirect competitors is first Melody Susie, which is just a normal electric nail filer that has no heat monitor or pretension of the burning of the problem that we're trying to address. And these electric nail filers usually range from around $200 to $500, which later when we get into how much we're selling our product for, our price lays perfectly in this range. And our second most closely indirect competitor is Essie, which only sells nail care products that focus on it's like polishes that help the damage after it's been done. So there's nothing that prevents the damage from happening in the first place, which is really the problem that we're trying to address. So neither of these products really address the problem that we're trying to address.
So our cost of materials. So this is the list of our cost of materials, roughly adding up to $105.87. And the cost of these items will definitely lower down when we buy them in bulk. So the estimate cost of our product will be around $150. And our competitors' products range from around $200 to $500. So this is significantly less than what we are trying to compete with. And so our research facts, so we created a Google form quizzing people that get their nails done. So we got around 48 responses, and over 70% said that they get burned frequently when they go to the nail salon. Over 90% said that they would buy our product for at-home use, for a side hustle, which is very popular right now, where people have a side business at home, just having one customer at a time. And this will definitely attract customers if they have an advanced technology like this. And over 92.5% said that they would attend the salon more with our product.
And this is what our prototype looks like. We made this on Tinkercad, and the black is representing where the sensor will go, and that alerts the nail technician when the nail is getting too hot. The top is our emery board nail file, and that will be a smooth and comforting to the client. So instead of breaking down the nail like a traditional nail file does, emery board builds up the nail and helps it grow stronger.
So for our product here, so this is a regular nail file, and here is our temperature sensor, and here is an enlarged version of what we would have. So we definitely need to downscale this, but this works. So this would be the screen reading the temperature, and this is the beeping aspect, and here we would have a thermal ray. So it's a little light that would point exactly what temperature we would need. So it's connected with wires, and we use the coding of Arduino and Raspberry Pi to code this. And so we would attach this and put it inside a normal nail file. Okay. And so on top here, we're looking forward to use an emery board file instead, like a glass file tip, which is much easier on the nails instead of the sandpaper that causes a lot of harm.
Yeah, we've been working on this coding with Mr. Lewick, who's a math and engineering teacher at our school. So he's helping us code that, which we're not completely done with it, which is why the screen's not lit up, but that's like the process, and we're getting to it. Tomorrow we're going in for office hours and continuing our process toward working towards building it. So for our marketing, as you can see on the left, we have an Instagram account which has around 120 followers, and we've been updating this regularly with our prototype and our progression through our startup. And an idea that we have that we're going to get into as we build our physical product is reaching out to small nail creators which their customer base is exactly what we want to attract. And this exchange would be sending our finished product to them for free, and in exchange we get exposure and promotion of our product. And this is very popular in TikTok and teenagers, just brand deals like this. So working with small creators is a good way to get our product out there. And also on the right, we have an example of what our prototype will look like again, and an example Instagram post that we would put out once we have our pre-sale done. Here's our website. As you can see, that's our logo, and then we have our product where you'll be able to click for $150. We have information on what our product is, and then a spot where we can get feedback, and we made this website on Canva, and once we have the link to our finished product, we'll put it on there.
Our hypothesis: we believe that if we tell 10 nail salons in Westchester about our innovative nail filer, then nail technicians will want to purchase our product. We will measure our success based on how many nail salons contact us back to want to learn more information. If we get 1 to 2 purchases, we'll be considered a success.
In addition to that, we've already gone into some local nail salons, which we have around 10, and we have around 5 in Armonk, but there's a lot of nail salons local to us. So we've gone into a few, and they're very interested in our product, and they just want to get us more finished with the coding, but we've kind of almost accomplished that hypothesis because we have had nail salons very interested in our product. But that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great job, Danielle. Questions from the judges?
Sorry, I just want to clarify, is this for salon use or at-home use? Because your social media had like salon quality for your home, but it seems like the majority of the presentation was geared towards in-salon use.
Yeah, so we're focused on like selling them directly to the nail salon, but we would also have a website where people can purchase them separately, so people at home that have like a side hustle and have like a small business at home could also purchase our product.
Yeah, so we're trying to target both, which is our goal.
I think great presentation, by the way, you guys.
Thank you.
I think I gleaned that like you're saying your price point is something like 150, and your competitors that don't even have a heat sensor are double the price. So how are you getting away with a half-price product that has more functionality?
So what the reason why our product is much cheaper than other products is over time we'll definitely raise our prices, but right now also on the sandpaper is much higher in price than the emery board file. And the glass, so the reason why a normal nail file like this is because they have to keep purchasing over and over again sandpaper, but with the glass file, which we will have later on, is much cheaper than buying sandpaper regularly.
And in addition to that, if you saw on our materials slide, the heat sensor and everything we need for the coating is actually very cheap. So that's why we're not increasing the price with the heat sensor, because everything, since we're also working with a teacher here, we don't have to pay for that. It's very reasonable with the price point.
Do you envision like an automatic shutdown when it reaches some temperature? Is that like the safety feature of it, or is it just going to warn the technician, hey, it's getting hot?
Yeah, so it's going to beep, and then the nail technician will know to take it off, and then it'll gradually shut down.
How do you define your thermal range? Is there a regulatory limit of a range that you've researched that will trigger the shutoff?
Yeah, so we ranged around, it reaches on around 182 degrees. So that's like, so we'd put it around 90 degrees, so that's when it would stop beeping. So we tested it on wood and on different materials, wood, plastic, and glass, and we saw that wood was like had the most like durability, same durability as your nails, and it reached to 182 degrees, so we do it way less than that. So around 90 degrees, just so it's like not a burning feeling, but like an unpleasant feeling would be like a perfect range.
All right, great job, Thermanale. All right, let's give one more round of applause for all of our teams. So now the judges will be sequestered off to deliberate and debate our winner. But like I said in the beginning, there is some audience participation. So you can either scan the QR code here, or we do have some handouts of a QR code being printed. Sometimes the screen can be a little challenging with that. So if you would please take a moment and vote for your favorite team. Again, the winner from the judges will be sent to the national competition, but we will, of course, honor the team who wins the People's Choice. So now, judges, you will be sequestered off with Ms. Pellegrino to deliberate and decide. All right, another round of applause for all of our finalists this year. Great work, everybody. All right, now we are going to first announce our People's Choice Award, which again was voted on by all of you in the audience. Drum roll. Thompson, congratulations. We have some trophies for Thompson. All right, another round of applause for Thompson. Great job. All right, and our judges pick for the finalists, we have in a very secret envelope. All right, drum roll. The 2025 winner of our competition is Switchstone. Great job, guys. All right, again, thank you so much for being here and participating in this tonight. We really can't do it without the support of the community, the judges, the district, and the Byram Hills Education Foundation. And we're excited to continue to grow this program. Again, congratulations to everybody up here, and thank you all again for a great night.